Welcome everyone. We'll get started in just a few minutes. Let's see who's here already. Just gonna scroll through the chat. How are you guys all doing? Small, Cheryl, Joe Turner, Bora. Hey guys, Anselmnida. Is it Anselmnida or is it supposed to be Anselmnida? Let me know. See who else is here. Okay, that's all the members that we have so far. You'll notice some people have green names. That means they are very jealous people. No, that means they have joined my membership program, which is just a program where you get extra benefits for being a member of this channel. Now, you don't get extra video. Well, sometimes you get like outtakes and stuff. You get the same videos everyone else does though, but it's just a way, one more way to support my channel, and you get access to watching these live streams as soon as they finish. You get a few other benefits like that. Anyway, that's the join button at the bottom of the channel, completely optional. Welcome to the stream today. We're gonna get started in, I wanna say 13 minutes. So before then, I have a few announcements. First of all, I always have announcements. First of all, make sure to get your worksheet and the outline for today's live stream. You can get that on Patreon, free if you're a Patreon member. But if you pay money to Patreon already, it's free. Make sure you get that. Those are available for every single live stream. The worksheet for today's live stream is already up there, so you can get that. And I think it's 12 practice sentences. I always add extra sentences for translation practice to the worksheet. That way, after the lesson finishes with all the basics, you can actually go and practice on your own with some usually more complicated sentences will be on the worksheets than what I have time to cover in the live streams. Also, another announcement I want to make is I have some new merchandise. Where'd that go? Here it is. Where is it? Where'd it go? Okay, here it is. Here it is. Okay, I don't want to advertise a sweatshirt, so let's do a t-shirt. I think it's going to soon be t-shirt weather pretty much everywhere. Unless you're on the southern hemisphere, I guess then it could still be sweatshirt weather, right? Anyway, yes, so there's some new merchandise. This t-shirt that I just pinned was actually designed by my wife. And there's a few other new stuff that's been up over the past couple weeks, and I'll be adding some more stuff later. But right now, that's one of the newest designs. Also, another announcement is we have a free active Discord server, which you can join. There is a link in the video description, and it's active. These days, it's active almost, I'd say, almost 24/7. Usually when I wake up in the morning and check, there's like tons of messages that were sent while I was asleep. You can practice your Korean there. You can ask questions. You can interact with hang out with other people who are studying Korean. I'm there most of the time, and yeah, it's fun and completely free. So join today. Also, another announcement is, oh yes, if you are a member, again, you get those people who are in the chat with green names, you get access to a few benefits. One of them being you get to watch the abridged versions of these live streams the same night that they finish. So this lesson will actually be finished and uploaded tonight to my channel. So those members, those people in green, those green dudes, everyone in the chat who's green, they get to I don't know why I find that so funny. Green people. Those green people in chat, they get to watch the abridged version tonight, and everyone else, the regular citizens, must wait until later in the week, usually around Wednesday or Thursday, to watch the abridged version. Okay, that is all the announcements that I have for today. It is a beginner class, but as usual, with any lesson that I give, I always have notes for other levels too. So even if you're intermediate here, you're wondering, what am I doing here, Billy? I'm intermediate. I don't need this basic topic. You probably do. You'll probably still learn something new today because, as you know, I go into detail about all of the lessons that we learn about. I don't just give you the surface details. We always go a little bit in depth. So I've got a lift now. So we're going to be doing some wonderful, some details about the grammar that we're going to be doing today that are a little bit more intermediate level. That just reminded me, there was this TV show I used to watch, and the guy talked with a lisp like that. And I used to love watching the TV show. It was like it's like a design. I don't even remember the name of the show or the person. Anyway, it was a pretty fun show. That's just what that was from. Okay, so let's see who else came in while I was giving the announcements. And yes, if you are here, you are early. We will be... Oh, Jordy. Hey, Jordy. Lauren Wilson. Welcome, you two. I think that's the only other members who came in here. Okay, yes. What was I saying? Oh, yes, that's right. So if you're here right now, you are early. We always start right on the dot at 2 o'clock. So there's still another 9 minutes. So if you have any questions before you get started, now is the time to ask. Now is, you have my undivided attention. I switched to drinking hot tea at the beginning of this year, but now I'm just back to caffeine again because the hot tea, while it was nice for my throat, relaxed my throat, helped me so I wasn't, didn't need a cough and I could speak more clearly. At the same time, it didn't have much caffeine in it. So I had to drink a lot of it in order to get caffeine for the lesson so that I don't, fall asleep in the middle of a lesson because, that would always happen. That's actually never happened. But anyway, just to keep my energy for the lesson so I can make sure I'm focused. But I just went back to regular caffeine again because it seems to work a little better. Since after this lesson finishes, I actually have to immediately edit the lesson, the 2 hours video, cut it really quick down to like 10 minutes or so. So for that, I need all the energy I can get. So yeah, I switched back to regular caffeine. In case anyone's wondering what I'm drinking, it is a regular energy drink powder kind of. And doesn't taste too great. Okay. Hey, oh, Tokin, GLX. Welcome, Tokin. And Samhita, it's not easy being green, but early access helps. Yes, that's right. If you are a green person, then you get access to the videos tonight. So make sure to check that out. Carrie, hey Carrie, another green person. So many green people in the chat. Lots of little green people. Ellie's Korean language classroom. Hey, welcome. 나 이제 일어나서 출근해야지. Yep, you got to go to work. In Korea right now, it is like 6 a.m. I think. 7 a.m. I don't know. It's early in the morning. So if any Koreans are watching this, go to work. What are you doing? It's Monday morning. Go to work. That's all I have to say. Let's see. How can I study Korean if I'm 12? If you're 12, you shouldn't have a YouTube account. I don't think you're legally allowed to have your own YouTube account. I'll just say that. But you could study Korean by living in Korea and being immersed in Korea. That would be much better than grammar books. I don't know anyone who's that young who would learn Korean from textbooks. It just doesn't work. Like if anyone's wondering if anyone who has kids and your kids are young, don't try to get them into, this might lose me some revenue. Don't try to get them into Korean by buying my books or buying books. Like by that, I mean grammar books. Grammar books don't work so well for younger kids. And it's not just Korean, but any foreign language typically. Kids learn foreign languages more like kids. They say, learn like a child. Well, children can do that. Adults don't do it as well. Children can do that much better than adults can. Immersion, natural exercises are going to be much more effective for a child than they would be for an adult. And traditional methods like studying vocabulary, learning grammar, that works better for an adult than a child. So if you're in the transition age, like, between around 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, it varies for everyone. There's no official number. From there and below, you really want to be doing immersion exercises. So that would be watching lots of Korean television, talking with Korean people directly, just talking with people, and essentially being immersed in Korean as much as possible. So not only listening to it, that's not going to work. I could lock someone in a room for a year and only play Korean TV. I'd go to jail if I did that. But that person wouldn't end up learning any Korean whatsoever. It doesn't work like that. You have to use a language to learn it. So you need both. You need input and output. And for younger people, it's even more essential that they do that. They're better at doing that. So yeah. If you're over anything over 14, 15, I'd say, yeah, go ahead. And at that point, you can still do immersion. It's not going to work as well as it would for a child, but still maybe better than an adult. But you'll have to supplement that now with grammar because your brain is already kind of affixed. Your brain is with the language section anyway, your brain's happy with where you are, with what you can express in your own language so much that it's going to be much harder for you to grab a second language or a third language at that point because your brain is now going to be trying to compare it to that language it already has. Yeah, I'm not a neurologist. This is just basic linguistics. Okay. Yeah, and also, I guess, thank you, Lemon. That's a good point. If you're underage, you shouldn't really be talking about it publicly. I know this is a channel for learning Korean, but for your own safety, don't announce that kind of thing on the internet, please. That's not safe. I want you guys to be safe. Don't do that. No. Okay. 여기 한국이고요. 전 아직 자고 있어요. 이제 일어날 거예요. 아, 월요일. Yes. Oh, wow, Carrie. Whoa. Carrie. Carrie! Every time I see your name, I don't tell you this, every time I see your name, I think of the movie Carrie. Now you just gave me a giant red donation. Wow. 방금 티스프링으로 보라색. I guess 보리색 could be, 보리 is barley, so like it's barley color. 보라색, you can remember it because it's like 보다, to see, 보라, like see, behold, the behold color. Wow, thank you. 커피잔을 주문했어요. Dab 필요 없어. You don't need any dabs. No dabs. Wow, that's truly a benevolent donation. Thank you so much, Carrie. That was so kind. Okay, I'll just do one dab. Just one dab. Not 50 dabs. Hold on, let me fix my board. I think my board is broken here. It always breaks on large donations. There we go. Okay. I'm just gonna do one dab for Carrie. Yeah, thank you so much. Let's see what else we got. Oh, Arlie, welcome, Arlie. Arlie is our blue Dabudai, our moderator, our blue, and the green people that you see are members. That's how you can distinguish it. Welcome, Arlie, our moderator. Let's see who else is here. See what else. How many Hanja characters should I know to have a basic understanding? Define basic. Okay, I'll define it for you because I don't have time to wait. If you want to be using them for just increasing your vocabulary, you could probably do a lot of that within just a few hundred. If you want to know which ones might I encounter if I go to Korea, you'd need all close to 2,000 of those. But yeah, if you just want to know how many will make a difference, even one will make a difference, but I'd say a few hundred for like a noticeable difference, at least a few hundred, maybe 500, 600 around then. They're just knowing the sound of them and their meaning is enough. You don't need to know how to recognize them so much. You can just kind of generally know what they look like and you don't need to write them. Just that alone will be enough for improving your Korean. What is this? Amanda. I saw the board flash in the corner of my eye. I thought, oh, it's probably like a $1 donation. I'll do a dab after I finish. Amanda, what? Wow. 2 wonderful, huge donations. before we've even started the class. Thank you so much, Amanda. Wow. You know, it's... I should get this out of the way. Okay, let's read your message. I should get this out of the way. Yeah, I second that, no doubt. What's with the dabs? What's with this animosity toward dabs? Am I that bad at dabbing? Okay, don't answer that. I was going to give you one dab then. I'll just do one dab. Thank you so much, Amanda. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Both of you, Carrie and Amanda, thank you so much for... You guys have already made a great stream. You know, I don't do these streams for money. I was doing them before I even accepted donations or before I had memberships. Of course, the donations are just to support me. I don't know where that came from. The donations just do support me though directly. Like, as you know, all of the donations go directly to the equipment, to everything. This year, I've already decided I'm going to be doing a few upgrades. I'm waiting for a few things, but you can expect sometime before the end of the year that the webcam will be updated. This camera that you're viewing, the beautiful scene here, we're going to be upgrading the camera to a much better camera. Again, that'll be sometime later this year. I have to wait for the camera to release first before I can upgrade. So that's what I'm doing. Yes, thank you so much again. Okay, and we will get started in just 1 minute. Make sure I say hello to everyone else. Yeah, I think after Carrie made her donation, Amanda's like, I will not be beat. Although actually Carrie did 50, Amanda did 49.99. So technically Carrie did 1 cent more. Just kidding. It was probably a rounding error or something like that. Okay, let's check the chat. See if I'm missing anything else. Billy, they're stopping you from your necessary exercise. Okay, to be frank, I have gained 1 pound in the past week. I'm watching my health though, so we're gonna get it back down. I'll do some dabs off camera. Since you won't let me do dabs on camera, I'll have to get my exercise off camera. So after this finishes, I'll probably do like 100 dabs. You know, just gotta get my calories down. Okay. 수업에 오신 걸 환영합니다. This just means welcome to class. And it's been up here now for a few minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and erase it. Welcome to our beginner live class. There are some of you who are new. Welcome. There are many of you who have been here before. I recognize your names in the chat. Welcome to you as well. Today, we're going to be learning about 3 major topics. Now, all of these topics are for beginners, but I guarantee you that even if you're an intermediate, you're going to still get something out of it today. The first topic we're going to learn about is ina. And the way you make it is you take a noun. So to make it, you take a noun and you attach na. Now, when the noun ends in a consonant, you will attach ina. So if you have the noun 집 for house, 집 ends in a consonant, so you get 집이나. So 집이나, 집이나. And if the noun ends in a vowel, you'll add just na to the end. So if you're talking about 학교, school, you'll get 학교, ends in a vowel, 학교나, 학교나. That's all you need to know about conjugating it. Now, I should note, if there was a object marker or a subject marker that was on this noun before you added ina, you should remove it. So ina takes the place of any subject object. I should say that again. So ina takes the place of any subject marker or object marker that was there. Okay. Also, now, I think I have an example of this. I'm not 100% sure I have an example of this here. Let me check. Yes, I do have one. Okay. This can not only be used after nouns, but it can also be used after particles or adverbs. I think there should be an example of these in the worksheet. If there's not, let me know. I can give you an example. But I know we do have one with this. This can also be used after particles or adverbs. Most often, though, you'll see it just used after nouns. But I want you to be aware it could also come after any particle or after an adverb too. Okay, so what does this for mean? Well, ina, you can translate it as or. Now, what does or mean? Or is when you're making a choice, right? When you're saying this or that, you know, A or B. Anything like that, anytime you have multiple options, you can use this word, or, right? And the same goes for ina. However, it's not only or. When you think about or actually has a few different meanings and a few different uses in English. You could say, I want to go see Lord of the Rings or Star Wars. Oh, that's a tough choice. If it's the original Star Wars, I'd probably say Star Wars. Otherwise, I would say Lord of the Rings. Or means one or the other, right? It means if I see Lord of the Rings, I'm not going to see Star Wars and vice versa. It doesn't mean both, right? Normally, or is for when you're making a choice. This is different, however. This means or when the speaker doesn't really have a preference. It means that I don't really care. I'm going to go see a movie like, I don't know, Lord of the Rings or Star Wars, or maybe nothing else, right? That's what it implies. It implies or maybe nothing, or maybe both, or maybe something like that, right? If I change the way that I say the word or in English, we can convey that different meaning. But in Korean, you don't change the way you say it to change the meaning. You simply change the grammar. So if you want to convey or, but you want to say it doesn't really matter, like, yes, you know, Lord of the Rings or Star Wars or something like that, when it doesn't really matter, when you don't have a preference, this is the particle, this is the grammar form that you want to use, ina. So it means or, but only when the speaker doesn't have a preference. Because of that, you can think of this as not only translating as or, but maybe like, or something, or maybe somewhere, like that. So let me check to make sure if I'm missing anything first, real quick. Something, somewhere. Okay, yeah. It could be or somewhere, or let me try to see if there's another example. There's one more. It could be probably someone, but it wouldn't be really used that way very much. Yeah, anyway, so it could be or something, or if it's used with a location, with locations, it could also be or somewhere. Just kind of that feeling that it doesn't really matter. Like, yeah, you know, that or that, but I don't really mind either way. I have no preference. Okay, so that's how it's used. I should say, however, this is used for making a choice. Obviously. But it's not used whenever the choice has already been made. So I'll say that again in a different way. This form is used when you're making a choice, when you have to make a choice. It is not used when that choice has already been made. What that means is you're not going to say or something or when it already happened. Can you tell me why? Can you think why that wouldn't work? Why could I not use this form in the past tense? Why could I not say, I'm going to watch Star Wars or Lord of the Rings? Why would that not make sense? I want you guys to think about it for, I'll just give you like 30 seconds. See if anyone can get it. Can you think about why you couldn't do that? I was curious. 10 seconds left. If no one gets it, it's no problem. I'm just curious if anyone already knows. Because the choice has to matter? Okay. Since a choice has been made, so a preference exists. Yes, lemon. I'll just call you Lemon in case the algorithm demonetizes the video. I don't know. Yes, Lemon, you are correct. Because the choice has been made. Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense if you were saying, I watched Star Wars or Lord of the Rings. Like, which one did you watch? It's already happened, right? So I shouldn't have to tell you it can't be used with the past tense anyway. Logically, when you're making a sentence with or, you're not going to make it in the past tense. That just wouldn't make any sense, right? Oh yeah, I saw like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings. Which one was it? Say which one you saw. You could say, I don't remember whether I saw this or I saw that, but that's not the same form. That would be, I don't know whether I saw this. I don't know whether I saw that. So that would be a different form. No, if you're just saying, I don't know if I saw this or this, that's a different form. But if you wanted to say, I saw this or this, just say which one you saw. There is no choice to be made when it's in the past. So because of that, you can only use this when there's a choice to be made. So you're still trying to decide something. If that still is not clear, try to imagine that whenever you're using ina, it kind of adds the feeling of that you're thinking of something. So when you say this or that, it's kind of like, I'm thinking of something. That sort of feeling is what the ina form conveys. And if you look at it that way, it would make sense that you wouldn't do it in the past tense because you're like saying, I saw Star Wars or, what else? Lord of the Rings or, It doesn't make any sense. It's already happened. So yeah, don't use it for anything in the past tense. Okay. So for our first, now there's actually another usage of ina. There are actually two more uses of ina at least. For this first usage of ina, that's it. That's all you have to know. You guys have got it. You're a master now. You're the Pokemon master. Do you know Ash finally became a Pokemon master? Was that like 2 years ago or something? I can't believe it. Okay. So let's do our first example sentence. Oops. I'm like misspelling like one of the most basic. It's okay. I'll blame this pen. 그럼, okay, actually, I want you guys to read this. I want you guys to read this and try to translate it in the chat. Give me a translation for this. So this sentence has our ina form right here. And since it comes after the word 오늘, meaning today, ends in a consonant, so we use ina. Had it ended in a vowel, we would just add na. So what does this mean? 그럼 오늘이나 내일 만날까요? 그럼 오늘이나 내일 만날까요? What does this mean? Billy's 15 minutes of explanation, 20 seconds of an example sentence. It's pretty much, yeah. I have to keep the example sentences down. Otherwise, we won't have enough time to do the explanations. So that's how it works out. But no, we still have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 example sentences for this lesson, though. So regardless, we'll still get some. And then there's another 12 on the worksheet. So 24 total. Yes. Yes. Great. Wonderful. Iman Doski, don't think I didn't see that. Shall we meet toy? There's no toy in here. Careful of typos. So you want to meet today or tomorrow? Yes, very good. Shall we meet today or tomorrow? Yes. Okay, very good, very good. That's what I wanted to see. So shall we meet today or tomorrow? Yes, Carrie. Okay. 그럼, well then, 오늘, today, 오늘이나 내일. So today or tomorrow. 만날까요? Shall we meet? You want to meet? 오늘이나 내일. So we have two choices here. 오늘, today, and 내일, tomorrow. 오늘이나 내일. So today or tomorrow. And now that doesn't mean if we meet today, we're not going to meet tomorrow. If we meet tomorrow, we're definitely not going to meet today. It doesn't mean the only or version. This means the, like today or tomorrow. I don't care. Or never, you know, or maybe both, or another day, or something, or sometime. That sort of meaning of or. So it's presenting two choices and the speaker saying, should we meet today or tomorrow? The speaker doesn't have a preference. It's not saying, I don't care if we meet, but it's saying, I don't care. It's saying, I don't care today, tomorrow, either's fine. That's what it means. So it shows the speaker has no preference, just giving two options, today or tomorrow, for example. 그럼 오늘이나 내일 만날까요? Well, then should we meet like today or tomorrow or something or sometime? That sort of meaning. Okay, that was our first sentence. Now, we don't need too many sentences with this form because it's pretty straightforward once you've got that, but I have one more for you. 저는 잠이 오면, okay. 커피나 녹차를 마셔요. Okay. What does this one mean now? I'm going to tell you one word though, in case you don't know. 잠 means sleep. 오다 means to come, to arrive. So literally when sleep arrives. But that's used to say when you feel tired. When you get tired, 잠이 오다. Literally, you feel like you're going to sleep. So when sleep comes to you, so when I start feeling tired, 저는 잠이 오면 커피나 녹차를 마셔요. Kopi is coffee and 녹차 is green tea. Literally, it means 녹, green, 차, tea. So green tea. 마셔요, so drink. So what does this one mean? What does this sentence translate as? I want to see what you can guess in the chat. 저는 잠이 오면 커피나 녹차를 마셔요. I'm not sure if you really want to do this though, but it's just an example sentence. When you feel tired, do I drink? Well, it's not a question. So two people translated it as a question. There's no question mark. It's not a question. This is a statement. 저는, I. It's not a question. I, 잠이 오면 커피나 녹차를 마셔요. If I feel sleepy, I drink coffee or tea. Yes. Oh, hey, Nikki. Welcome. Nikki is my other blue person. My other moderator. My blue moderators. Which is different than my green members. Drink coffee or green tea. I'm just reading some of your translations here. Great job. Yusu, not if I felt sleepy, but if I feel sleepy. Because this isn't the past tense, not if I did, but it's if I am, if I get tired, if I feel tired, like that. When I should say, it's not so much feel tired as it is when I feel sleepy. That's probably a better word, because tired can also just be like you're exhausted, tired. Like you don't want to sleep, but you just want to rest, tired. But then sleepy is you want to sleep. So when I feel sleepy, I guess. Yeah, and some of you translate it as tired, others as sleepy. I mean, in English, we kind of use them interchangeably, but in Korean, they're different. Yay for the blue people. Yes. When I get tired, I either drink coffee or green tea. Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah. 저는 잠이 오면. So when I feel sleepy, when I get sleepy, 커피나 녹차, coffee or green tea. 커피나 녹차를 마셔요. I drink coffee or green tea, something like that. I don't really care. This is, again, expressing that the speaker doesn't really have a preference for either of the choices. It could be coffee, it could be green tea. The speaker doesn't really care. They just drink something like, coffee or green tea when they feel tired. 저는 잠이 오면 커피나 녹차를 마셔요. So when I feel sleepy, I drink, coffee or something like green tea. Like that. Great. You guys are doing good. I can see most of the sentences are like spot on, and the other ones are mostly pretty close still. Okay. As far as the basic use of ina, that's all there is to it. We don't need any more sentences to hammer that home. But there's another usage of ina. And this one is where things get a little bit more confusing because it doesn't look like what you expect. And this one does have a special rule to it. This one does have some special usage. Now, we talked about already how ina is used when the speaker doesn't have a preference, when it could be either or. So if I tell you that ina can also be used to mean or something, that shouldn't sound like I'm saying anything new. But this case, it's actually new because ina can also be used without a second choice. After all, we already said something like, I drink coffee or tea when I feel tired. Well, that's kind of like saying, you know, I drink coffee or tea or something when I'm tired. We already have that meaning now in our head. So I can tell you now, you can actually take out that second option and still have the meaning of or something. You don't even need to list two different options. You can just say, 커피나 마셔요. I drink coffee. 커피나, coffee or something. 마셔요. There's no second option. You're not saying coffee or tea. You're just saying, you know, coffee or something like that. This form can also therefore be used without a second option. There is something you need to know about that though. And this is something actually I was scratching my head a bit because I never thought about this before. But there is an important exception when you are using this form with only one choice. It works a little bit differently. You can't simply remove the second choice and every sentence, you can't simply remove the second choice and expect the sentence to make sense. There are some exceptions. You can only use this when you're saying something that you will do. By that it means it implies future tense, something that you're going to do, something that you will do. If you are using ina without a second option, you cannot say something like 커피나 마시고 싶어요. I want to drink coffee, because that is not expressing something that you're going to do. You cannot use it to say, I drank something, I drank coffee or something, because again, that wouldn't really make any sense. You can't use it to say something like, I am drinking it, right, for the same reason, but it has to be something like, I will do it. I'm intending to do it. Will. Most of the time, however, you're going to use it that way anyway. But I guess I can give you an example. You could say, though, do you want to drink coffee or tea? Do you want to with na? But you couldn't then remove or tea and make it as a statement. I want to drink coffee or something. Does that make sense? You could say, though, I will drink coffee. I'm going to drink coffee. I'm intending to drink coffee. But you cannot say, I want to. Even if they just asked it to you with two options, if you use it with one option, you can no longer use it like that. Using it with one option has a stronger feeling of you're thinking about doing something. You're thinking. Remember when I wrote this? This has an even stronger meaning. This also applies. It has to be something that you're thinking about doing, something that you're going to do. Not just saying, I want to, but saying, I'm going to. So keep that in mind. That's just a small note. You're probably not going to make any mistakes with this, but you couldn't use it to say something like, I have to. I have to drink coffee or green tea or something, because that doesn't make sense either. You have to drink coffee or tea or something like that. Like what? No. If you have to do it, you're not going to be deciding like that. You're not going to be thinking. You already know what it is. You say, I have to drink tea, right? I have to take my medicine. I have to go here. You wouldn't say, I have to do this or maybe this or something like that. I don't care, right? That doesn't make sense, because using na implies that you don't really care so much about it implies you don't really care. Let me say this again. This implies, again, that the speaker doesn't really have a preference. So you wouldn't say, I have to go to like Hawaii or, California or something like that. I don't know. You can't use it for that. It can only be used to say something, I will do this or this. I will do this or something. That's okay. So when you're using it when you're using it without a second choice, you have to keep this in mind. Only use it when you're saying things you will do or you're intending to do, you're going to do, like that. Okay, so let's do an example sentence of that. hopefully I'm not losing you with that. Oh, hey, Cameron, welcome. See if I missed anyone else. I think that's Cameron, you're the newest member to come in. Yeah, so I actually didn't think about that nuance either until I was preparing for this lesson. Although when I thought about it, yeah, it makes sense because I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't say that. That sounds weird. But yeah, I didn't realize this is actually a rule when you're using it. Okay, so let's do an example of this. 할 것도 없는데. Now, this sentence might be a little bit higher for if you're a beginner. This could be a little bit challenging, but go ahead and give it a try anyway. So TV is TV, you know, television. They write TV. TV나 볼까요? 할 것도 없는데 TV나 볼까요? 할 것, something to do. 할 것, 마실 것, something to drink. 읽을 것, something to read. 먹을 것, something to eat. 할 것, something to do. 할 것도 없는데, so there's not even anything to do. TV나, TV or something, I don't really care. 볼까요? Shall we watch? We're going to, shall we watch something like TV? So there's not even anything to do. We don't have anything to do. Should we like watch TV or something? TV나 볼까요? Now, you're not saying TV나 영화나, you're not saying TV나 영화 볼까요? You're not saying TV or movie. You could say that, but you're just suggesting, should we watch TV? I don't care. I don't have a preference. Should we watch like TV or something? 할 것도 없는데 TV나 볼까요? 할 것도 없는데 TV나 볼까요? So we don't have any, let me read my translation that I wrote. There's nothing to even do. So should we watch TV or something? Okay, I'm going to leave this up for just a second, and then we're going to go to our next sentence. 잠이 오니까 커피나 마실게요. I'm not sure why you would need to say 마실게요, because that's like you're letting someone know, like, hey, I'm going to drink coffee because I'm tired. Like, I'm trying to think who you would need to say that to. You can just say 마실 거예요. I will. It's not a conditional but contrast. If there's nothing to do, want to watch TV or something. Oh yeah, not if there's nothing. That's right. There isn't anything. 없는데. So there isn't anything to do. Should we watch TV or something? Okay. I'm going to write up our last sentence for this na form. While I'm doing that though, I would like all of you to come up with your own short example sentence that uses na in this way, preferably with it one option, but go ahead if you're more of a beginner, you don't feel confident with using it with one, try with two options because that's a little more forgiving how you can use it. Try to make an example sentence and I'll read a few and I'll check up a few of them. I just want you guys to give it a go because really you're not going to get a grammar form until you can actually use it yourself. So now's your chance. Go ahead and make a sentence and I'll check over some while I'm writing our last example sentence for this form na. Let's see what you guys can do. What is DAE? Does anyone else? It was an older internet meme. I guess it's still being used. I thought it was being used still like ironically, but I guess people still use it regularly. Okay. This is the last sentence, but I want you guys to think of your own sentence too. So go ahead and write your own sentence. I'm just going to go over this. As soon as I finish with this, let's check out some of your sentences in the chat. Okay. 제주도. 제주도 is the island of Jeju. 도 means an island. 제주도. Jeju island. 제주도나 갈까? Shall we go? 갈까? Or 갈까요? Shall we go to Jeju or somewhere? Or somewhere. Notice that this na took the place of what would normally be a different particle meaning to, right? Normally you would say 제주도에 갈까? Shall we go to Jeju? Or maybe 제주도로, toward, shall we go to Jeju or something like that. Na can also replace whatever particle was normally there for certain particles. We'll talk about which ones after the lesson. That's an advanced note. But for now, it can replace the 에 particle for to. So you don't have to say 제주도에 나. You can just say 제주도나. 제주도나 갈까? Shall we go to Jeju? Or somewhere like that, you know? I would like to go to Jeju Island again. It was very nice. I'm hoping I can go again this summer. We'll see how that goes. 제주도나 갈까? Shall we go to Jeju Island or somewhere? 제주도나 갈까? Okay. Let's check out what you guys have written. Let's check out what all of you have written. Everyone out there, what have you written? Let's see. Juliana, 한국 is Korea. If you want to say Korean, that's 한국어 or 한국말, either of those. Let's check out to see some of your sentences. 스티커나 살 거야. 선물으로, if you remove the 선물으로 part, then it could be. But 선물으로 would need to go before the verb, so that wouldn't work. 너무 바쁜데 드디어 not 드디어 할 거 하기 끝났. The beginning of your sentence would be wrong. There would be several mistakes we would have to fix, but we don't have time for those in here. Maybe you could ask afterward for help with that. But the last part of it is 넷플릭스나 볼까 is fine. 콜라나 우유 마실까요? Not 마실까요? 마실. So you need the lir at the bottom of there. And then yes. 치킨이나 먹을 거예요. Yeah, chicken sounds good. 먹을. 유수. 먹을. Not 일. 을. 한국어나 일본어나 한국어. Okay. Careful of typos. I can see a lot of typos in some of those early sentences. I'm not saying everyone has typos. I saw a bunch of typos though in some early sentences. Pay extra attention to those because I fortunately wouldn't have time to fix typos. I'm trying to focus just on grammar here. 너무 바쁜데. Oh, I see it, that one. 김치나 먹을까? Yes, Cheryl. Let me do that. Let me first check out my member sentences and then I'll scroll up and check out some more after that. 김치나 먹을까? Sounds good. 오늘은 피자나 먹을 거예요. Okay, today I'm going to eat pizza or something. Good. 우리 같이 열심히 운동해서 했으니까. For that you want to use 니까 because 서 cannot be used with suggestions or commands. It's only used to explain something that happened, like the cause and the effect of it was this. So if you want to make a suggestion, shall we? In that case, you want to use the 니까 form for because. 마시러, and then it would for 러 갈까 would be 마시러. So it just attaches to the stem. It doesn't conjugate, which is 마시다. So 마시러 갈까. And then, yeah, good sentence. Claritin, Zyrtec, 먹을래요? A lot of pollen today. Yeah, I used to take Zyrtec. Claritin did nothing for me. 0. Same with Allegra, did nothing for me. Zyrtec though did work, but I kind of had like weird reactions when I wouldn't take it. So I quit Zyrtec completely. I don't take that anymore. Zyrtec. So yeah, do you want to have Claritin or Zyrtec? Very good. 쇼핑 가면 바지나 살 거예요. Okay. Oh, tomato with potato. Yeah, if I go shopping, I'm going to buy I'll buy pants or something. Yeah, I need pants. I need shirts actually. I don't have any shirts. All my shirts are from like 2000. I'm not exaggerating. 2010 or 2009, 2008. All my shirts are from that. I have some t-shirts that are newer, but when I'm talking about like my button shirts, like my nicer shirts, those are all from like 2008, 2009, 2010, some even 2007. Yeah, so they're quite old and I have to throw away them and get some new shirts. So yeah, I'll get like 3 new shirts, I think, so I can go outside. Especially if I want to go to Korea, I need to have regular shirts. Okay, that is all of our member sentence. Oh, one more member sentence. 안젤입니다. 배고파서 간식. 시옷. It's not a 지읒, but it's a 시옷. So 간식이나 먹을 거야. Very good. 술이나 주스를 마실까요? Are you talking about drinking 솔? The pine? I'm not sure what you're trying to say there. Let's see if, okay, now let's check out some of the regular sentences. So I did the members one first. Okay. 라면이나 먹을까? Shall we eat ramen or something? Okay. Oh, ayakata as well. For the sol form, you cannot use sol with a suggestion or command. You have to use nika in that sense, in that sort of sentence. 피곤해서 그냥 집에서 Okay, sorry for laughing, but I have to say this. Hold on, I gotta confirm. Okay, I confirm. I just had to confirm this was not on purpose. So I can confirm now after reading your sentence, you did not mean to write this. These are not the same. These are not the same. Shida is to rest. Like, you know, take a break. So if your friend's tired, you can 좀 쉬어, 가서 쉬어. Go take a break, go rest. 쉬하다. To pee, to go pee, to go to the restroom. You know, number one. 쉬하다. You say 쉬하세요. Just go to the bathroom, right? You're tired, go to the bathroom. So what you wrote, and I'm not making fun of you as much as I'm making fun of the sentence, because I did the same thing when I was a beginner. Yeah, it's a common beginner mistake. Don't feel bad, but now you know. 쉬다 is to rest or take a break. 쉬하다 is to urinate. Very different. So if you say, 피곤해, 쉬해야 돼. Yeah, that you might need to, you know, you feel tired, you just kind of want to go to the bathroom and, you know, just kind of sit down for like 30 minutes and just relax, use your phone, even though you're not doing anything. Yeah, so 쉬하다 is to urinate and 쉬다 is to rest. Okay. Just careful about that. Let's see. Put some button-down shirts on Teespring and get yourself a few. I don't want to wear my own branded merchandise in public in the US because no one's going to recognize me anyway. But when I go to Korea, yeah, I'll wear some of my own stuff. I'll carry around my own. I have some hats that I can wear like this for regular use. Just when I go to the store, I'll have a hat I can wear. Okay. Yeah. And I made that. Yeah, it is true. It is called the restroom, Alexis. That is a good point. It is called the restroom. Except unless you're in Canada, in which is the water closet, or if you're in England and they call it the toilet or something like that, or yeah. Anyway, there's like a bunch of names for it. In Korean also has a lot of different names for it too, just like that. Okay. So now that we've done the na form, there's another form that's quite similar to that, and that works with verbs, and that is kolna. And the way you get it is you take a verb stem and you attach kolna. Now, this can be action verbs or descriptive verbs, either one. And just like na, it also means or when you're making a choice. So when a choice needs to be made and when the speaker has no preference. So it's just like na, but now it's used with verbs. So, also, again, this wouldn't be used if the choice has already been made. Because you're thinking about it. You're like, this or this, but I guess I don't mind. Either is okay. It has the same meaning as na. So we don't actually need too many example sentences for this because it works in the exact same way as na, but with verbs now. So let's just do an example sentence. Now, I have to be honest. This form isn't the most common. I'm not going to say it's rare. It is not a rare form, but it's not super common. It's not as common as using na. And I'll show you why when we do the next form, you'll see why. But it's still good to know, and you'll still see it from time to time. Is this in? Hold on. Need more space. There's one extra syllable I didn't have space to write up here. 저는 주말에는 집에서, so at home. 자거나, so sleep. 자거나. 할머니, so grandmother. 할머니 댁. 댁 is the, I want to say, the honorific word for a house. So it's the same meaning as 집, but it's an honorific word. So you wouldn't use it for your own house, but you could use it for someone else's house who you want to show extra respect to. Okay, what does this sentence say? I'm not even going to tell you. 저는 주말에는. So I'll tell you some of the words though to help, but I'm not going to tell you what it means. I want you guys to translate this. 주말 means weekend. 저는 주말에는 집에서 자거나 할머니 댁에 갈 거예요. What does this mean? Give you guys a few seconds to think about it. Mango. Okay, let's see what you guys got. Couldn't label 시하다. Yes. You could put it on the handle. You know, if you have the toilet with the two handles, the one that like just puts a little water and the one that completely flushes it, you could put it on the smaller one. It's very important to know. Let's see. Let's see what you guys have got. Okay, so you're trying to translate this sentence. I'm just going to give you a minute. We sleep at home, we're going to my grandma's house for the weekend. Gonna sleep at home, we're visiting my grandma's. Sleep at home, we're going to grandma's. Okay, very, very, very good. I don't want to read it out loud because I'm worried that someone will hear that and just write it down. But you guys are doing good. I will sleep at my home or go to my grandma. Very nice, Jordy. Very good. Gerang asks, should I? It's not a should I. This is not a question. There's no question mark. In Korean, there are always question marks at the end of questions. So if you don't see a question mark, it's never going to be a question. Well, I mean, you could have some really loose translation of something that changes it to a question at times, sure. But no, it's not going to be a question if there's no question mark. Sleep. Okay, very good, very good. I'm reading a lot of your translations and they're very close. Good enough. I'll say that. Very good. 저는 주말에는, so I, on the weekend, 주말에는, so on the weekends. 집에서, at home, 자거나, I sleep. 거나, or, so I sleep, but there's another choice I could make, but I don't really have any preference. So I do one or the other. 자거나 할머니 댁. So my grandmother's house. 댁 is the honorific version of 집, house. 갈 거예요. So I'm going to go to my grandmother's house or sleep. So I'm going to sleep or go to my grandma's house on the weekend. 저는 주말에는 집에서 자거나 할머니 댁에 갈 거예요. So on the weekend, I'll sleep at my house or go to my grandmother's house. One of those. But I don't really have a preference. Either is fine. Or do something else. Like, on the weekend, I'm going to sleep at my house, or go to my grandmother's house. One of those. That's what it means. 저는 주말에는 집에서 자거나 할머니 댁에 갈 거예요. Okay. How are you guys doing? Is this moving too fast? Are you guys okay about keeping up so far? We're not done. I have one more sentence. Just want to make sure you're doing okay. It's important. If you need a break, let me know. I can pause for a couple minutes. After I write up the sentence, take a couple minutes to try to translate it. Actually, I gotta write this down here. There's no space here. Messed up by trying to rewrite it again. 상에서. Okay, there we go. 조금 멀거나. Okay, this is going to be an example that doesn't use an action verb. So instead of saying 자거나, like sleeping, which is doing something, now it's going to be a descriptive verb. So something is a certain way or something else. 멀거나 오래된 집, 도. And I'll translate some of these words for you. Okay. 버스 정류장에서. So bus stop. 정류장 means the bus stop. So from the bus stop, 조금, a little bit. 멀다. 멀다 means to be far. So a little bit far from the bus stop, or 오래되다 means to be old, as in a lot of time has passed. Old, not as a person is old, not many years, but an object, a thing, a building is old. 오래된 집, so an old house. 오래된 집도 괜찮아요. So is an old house even, or a house that's a bit far from the bus stop, 괜찮아요, is it okay? So is it, I was going to give you a, I was going to translate. I was so close to translating it. You guys do that. I don't want to put the whole thing together. I just wanted to give you some of the words. Okay. Reminder, peeps, if you're a YouTube member, you can get access to this lesson tonight. I'm not an admin, just a 32-year-old bearded Billy. Does that mean you're a fan of bearded Billy or that you are a bearded fan? Because it could mean either. I do not have a beard, but for anyone curious, I could easily grow a beard. I shave every morning. Believe it or not, this is not smooth skin, except right after I shave. I do get stuff every morning I have to shave off. But I don't think I'm ever going to grow a beard. I just don't want a beard. I think it would look gross on me. But anyway, yeah. Someone could be a fan of bearded Billy. I don't know what that would look like. Probably cause me nightmares or something. Okay. Kalea. Yes. Okay, let's see here. It's okay for the bus stop. Dasha. Nope. Look, read it again. But I think you can get it, Dasha. One more try. The center point of this sentence is here. 집, house. Okay. Weird flex. 학교에서 조금 멀거나 오래된 집도 괜찮아요? You could rewrite it like that. Sure. Aisha. When's a good time to travel to Korea? Is there a time when it's cheaper? Yeah, if you avoid holidays and if you go before people typically have vacation times, so not around Christmas time, not around like summer break, then you can get cheaper flights. And if you buy the tickets in advance, like at least a month in advance. If you try to buy it like the week before, it's going to be more expensive. And if you try to buy it like 2 days before, it's going to be the most expensive. So that's how you get a cheaper ticket. And then compare. Compare the different days you leave will change your ticket price a lot. Just leaving sometimes a day or two earlier or later can drop your ticket price by like $200-300. Sometimes picking a flight that's in the morning, you know, it'll show you that on those websites where you compare prices. It'll show you that the prices can change between what time you take it. If you do a flight that's has a, what do you call it? That's not a one-way flight, but if you have like one that has a stop, 1 or 2 stops, you can also save money, though not always, but sometimes you can save money that way if that's an option for you. Okay. Go in the middle of the fall semester. Okay. Go in the middle of the fall semester. Yeah, you can go then. It's okay, the bus. Okay. Really good. I'm checking all of your sentences, and most of them are very, very close to the actual answer. 버스 정류장에서, so from the bus stop, 조금 멀거나, a little bit far, or 오래된 집, a little bit, an old house. 오래된 집도 괜찮아요. So even an old house, or a house that's a little bit far from the bus stop, is it okay? So is it okay if the house is a little bit far from the bus stop, or maybe an older house? This would be like something maybe a real estate agent would ask you, or if your friend's looking for a place and you're trying to help your friend, maybe not a friend because you're using polite, someone you know is looking for a place to stay, an apartment to rent. So you want to ask them, what kind of things are you looking for? Like, what kind of place do you need? 버스 정류장에서 조금 멀거나 오래된 집도 괜찮아요? Like, is it okay if it's like, a bit far from the bus stop? Or like, how about old houses or something like that? So you're wondering what requirements does your friend have? Do they really need to be close to the bus stop? Or do they really need to be close to the school or their work? Or do they want to have they only want a newer house? They don't want old houses, because you might be able to find some place that's really close to the bus stop or close to their work, but it's, an old house. They might not want that. Stuff you just have to kind of work with. 버스 정류장에서 조금 멀거나 오래된 집도 괜찮아요? So, is a house also okay if it's a bit far from the bus stop or if it's old? So, how about if the house is a little bit far from the bus stop or if it's old? Is that okay? 버스 정류장에서 조금 멀거나 오래된 집도 괜찮아요? Okay, and that is everything about 거나, because as you learned with na, it works the same way. Just now you can use it with any verb. So then I mentioned briefly that 거나 is not you're not going to use this whenever you're asking someone, do you want to do this or do that? Unless you're saying, well, it doesn't matter. Like, hey, shall we go this or shall we do this or something? I don't care. Most of the time, when you're asking someone a question that has the word or, most of the time, you really want one or the other. You're asking them, do you want to eat Chinese food or do you want to eat Korean food? You're not asking them, do you want this or something like that? You've already decided two things. Do you want to have Chinese food or do you want to have Korean food? Oh, hey, Claire. Claire, our new member. Claire S. Welcome and thank you. You can get access to watch. Make sure to check the channel tonight. You get access to watch this live abridged video tonight as soon as it's finished editing. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, welcome to the Green Club. You're now a member of the Green Group. Most of the time when you're asking someone a question that has the word or in it, you actually want them to make a choice. And that choice matters. Are you studying Korean or Japanese? Or something? Like, most of the time you're asking them because you actually care about the choice. This choice, if not this choice, then that choice, right? So here is actually maybe the most common way you're going to hear or. And that is the expression 아니면. Now, 아니면 comes from the verb 아니다. 아니다 is just the negative version of 이다. 이다 means to be. 아니다 means to not be. And since it's combined with the 면 form, if it is not. 아니면 means that, literally. 아니면, if not. So, are you studying Korean? If not, are you studying Japanese? Like that. That's the most common way you're going to ask someone a question with the word or, when the choice actually matters. When you're not just giving a variety of things like, I don't care, that or that. You're actually saying, here's option A, here's option B, this or this. When you're doing that, 아니면 is what you want to use. So 아니면 is actually, I'd say probably the most common one you're going to see when you're just trying to think of the word for or. So this will be the most common one when you're asking questions. Now, we learned you don't have to. You can say, shall we meet today or tomorrow? But what if you wanted to say, shall we meet today or shall we meet tomorrow? because I only have 2 days free. It has to be today or tomorrow. Which one? Today or tomorrow? Not or sometime else, but today or tomorrow. Which is it? 아니면 is what you want to use. So then how would you use this? Well, first of all, I'll say this. It's always used with two choices. I mean, you technically could say this or this or this or this. That's going to be awkward though. You have to have at least two choices. You have to have two choices for this because you're giving someone a choice. It's not going to be used with one option. You're not going to say, today I feel like eating, today I'm going to eat kimchi, or if I don't eat kimchi, it doesn't make any sense because this literally means if not. So I'm going to eat kimchi. If not, there has to be another option. So you have to use this with two choices. Also, just like with, okay, let me see here. You can use this in two different ways. The first way is between two nouns. You can say this noun, if not that, or this noun. You can use it this way, but most often that's not how this gets used. So I'm actually not going to cover this one. Most of the time, 아니면 is used quite literally to mean if not. So how would you say if not in English? Where do you put if not in a sentence? It goes after a sentence. It's the beginning, the first word that you use in a new sentence. If not, then that. So most of the time, 아니면 will be used at the beginning of a new sentence. What that means is, instead of saying one sentence, do you want to eat kimchi or ramen? You would say, do you want to eat kimchi? If not, do you want to eat ramen? This might sound like you're just breaking it up into two sentences, and it might sound a little slower. This is the most common way that Koreans will make or sentences or questions. So do you want this or this? Do you want to do this or this? Shall we go here or here? Do you want to meet at this time or this time? They actually break it into two sentences into Korean, much more than trying to keep it in one sentence. In English, we'll keep this as one sentence. For example, should we go now or should we go after 3 hours? In English, we might just prefer to say, should we go now or after 3 hours, right? One sentence. Korean, no. Korean, it's more common to break up an option sentence, an option question, when you're asking someone this or this, into two sentences. Shall we go now? Or, 아니면, shall we go later? Shall we eat this? You know, do you want to do this? If not, do you want to do this? Are you a Korean? If not, 아니면, are you a American? A question like that. So this is how you'll make or sentences, by actually splitting it into two sentences and adding 아니면 at the start of the next one. Let me give you an example. 지금 갈까? Shall we go now? 아니면 나중에 means later. 나중에 갈까? 지금 갈까? Shall we go now? 아니면 if not, 나중에 갈까? Shall we go 나중에, later? Shall we go now or later? In English, we would put it into one sentence because it sounds more natural. In Korean, it sounds more natural to split it up. 지금 갈까? 아니면 나중에 갈까? Shall we go now or shall we go later? Literally, shall we go now? If not, 아니면, shall we go later? And this doesn't have to only be for suggestions, like I said. It can just be for, it can also just be for regular statements, it can just be used for regular questions like, are you hungry? Or do you want to eat something tomorrow? Or, you know, I guess tomorrow, that would be a long time to wait. Are you sick? Or are you tired? You know, it doesn't have to be like, shall we for every single sentence. Okay, optionally, like I said, you could use it between nouns. You could say 지금 아니면 나중에 갈까? Shall we go now? If not, later. It's not as common though, and it doesn't sound as natural. It's more natural to just break it up into two sentences. So you can also see this form used between two nouns, but most of the time you'll see it used at the beginning of a sentence like this. Okay, let's do another sentence. What is 참치? What is 참치? What is 참치? 참치 is tuna. 참치가 좋아? 아니면 연어가 좋아? 참치가 좋아? Literally, is 참치, is tuna good? So do you like tuna? Or, if not, literally, 연어가 좋아? Is salmon good? Do you like salmon? So do you like tuna or salmon? What's better? Do you like tuna or salmon? 참치가 좋아? 아니면 연어가 좋아? 참치가 좋아? 아니면 연어가 좋아? 저는 연어가 좋아요. 참치도 맛있어요. 둘 다 맛있어요. Both are good, but I guess I would pick salmon. 참치가 좋아? 아니면 연어가 좋아? So which do you like? Do you like tuna or salmon? But again, notice how they are separate. The sentences are separate. And because it's this has to be one or the other. You're not saying 참치나 연어가 좋아? Like, do you like tuna or salmon or something like that? You like fish? You like those kinds of fish? It doesn't ask for a choice. It's like, I don't care. This one actually is, which one? Pick one, A or B. So you'll hear this more often when you're using questions. Okay, let's do another sentence. But fortunately, it's straightforward. There's nothing else you have to learn about this once you get this. Okay, let's do one more sentence. 점심을 같이 먹을까? 아니면 저녁? That's not good. 저녁을 같이 먹을까? I think. Yeah. Okay. Should we eat lunch or dinner together? 점심을 같이 먹을까? Shall we eat lunch 같이 together? 아니면, if not, 저녁을 같이 먹을까? Shall we eat 저녁, dinner together? So, shall we eat lunch or dinner together? 점심을 같이 먹을까? 아니면 저녁을 같이 먹을까? 점심을 같이 먹을까? 아니면 저녁을 같이 먹을까? Did I get a donation? Oh, New Wang. Hey, thank you so much for joining. Very kind of you. Welcome. Both Claire and Yu Wang are new members today. Thank you. You can also get the abridged version of the lesson tonight. And I think my board is broken again. Let me turn off the light. Okay. Thank you. Oh, and hey, now you're green. Welcome. Okay. 점심을 같이 먹을까? 아니면 저녁을 같이 먹을까? Shall we eat lunch together or dinner? Shall we eat lunch or dinner together? Okay, that is everything you need to know about 나, 거나, and 아니면 if you're a beginner. I have some more notes though, because there is a little bit more to the form. Just call me Chun or Chun. Okay, there is a little bit more though, and this is for, I would say, intermediates and advanced learners. Now, you saw how ina can have the meaning of or when you're giving a choice and you don't really have a preference. It can also mean like or something when used by itself with just one option. There's another meaning of ina. Now, this is not for today's lesson because this is actually a full lesson to explain. But there's another place you might see ina that doesn't mean any of this. far, fast. It can also mean, let's write it all up. This form can also mean, with the same usage, as many as much as far as, and then some measurement, or no less than that amount, or approximately or about that amount. This is not related to giving someone a choice. This is the same way it's conjugated, it attaches the same way, same rules, but it has a different meaning. This is a different form. Now, I haven't gotten a request to do this form, but if any member requests me to do this form, I can do it. This would be, I'd say, intermediate level. So we can do this in a future lesson. I don't have time to cover it for today because I would have to give lots of examples to make it clear how it could mean these. But that's another form. Just know that if you see ina and it doesn't seem to mean or, it's this. Very common, used as this, but it's more of an intermediate form. Okay, just be aware of it in case you see it. Also, I mentioned how ina can replace the particle a. We had that one example, 제주도나 갈까? 제주도나 갈까? Shall we go to Jeju Island or somewhere like that? Well, ina can replace some specific particles, not all particles, but it can replace the particles a, just like it did in the Jeju example. It can replace 에서, and it can also replace any particle like 에게 for to. You have two options with these. ina can either replace it completely, like in our example, 제주도 나 갈까? Or na can attach to these, in which case it would become 에나, 에서 나, 에게 나. Most of the time, however, ina will completely replace these. So you might see 제주도 에나 갈까? Okay. More often though, you'll just see it as ina. So it could attach to these. So in case you see 에나 or 에서나 or 에게나, just know that that's what they mean. More commonly though, it'll replace them completely. Also, if you have any sentence, I should clarify, this note is definitely not for beginners. If you have any sentence, right, where you have option A and option B, so you have something A and then ina and then something B, right? No matter what was before, no matter what particle was after A, ina will replace it. So as I showed you, that would be 에서, 에게. It could also be the subject marker. It can also be the, well, it is always the object marker, right? So it'll always replace these. It can replace these three. But anytime there's one of these particles after A normally, you just use ina. Just let it eat it every single time. B, however, will always use the regular particle, whatever was there. So that can even be the object marker, the subject marker, 에서, 에게, anything. Whatever was normally here, leave it on here. Do not remove it. We've seen that though with our examples. We had, for example, 잠이 오면 커피나 녹차를 마셔요. So 커피나 녹차를, object marker, 마셔요. You're not going to say 커피나 녹차 나 마셔요. It would have a different meaning. So yeah, keep that in mind. Let me give you an example of that. So it only replaces, just to restate it really quick, it only replaces the first particles, the particles on the first option, not on the second option. So let's give you a sentence of that. 같이 도서관이나 학교에서 공부할까요? 공부할까? I guess. 할까요? I usually try to add extra politeness to my sentences so they're better. Okay, 같이, together, 도서관이나 학교에서. So at school or the library. 공부할까요? Shall we study at school or the library together? Notice how it's not 도서관이나 학교나에서 or anything like that. This one is just the regular particle that it was normally there. You're not going to add any other things to this, and you're not going to replace it with anything. So as if the first one wasn't even there. 같이 학교에서 공부할까요? Shall we study together at school? 같이 도서관이나 학교에서 공부할까요? Now you could also say 같이 도서관에서나 학교에서 공부할까요? But it sounds a bit repetitive. It sounds a little bit less natural. So more often you'll just see it replaced. Again, this is more of a note for intermediate learners who already knew this particle and just wanted something extra. 같이 도서관이나 학교에서 공부할까요? So shall we study together at the library or at school? But only this one has the original particle. This one got replaced. Okay, I'm not done. Some more notes for intermediate learners. Let's see. Okay. There's one more particle. Actually, I think... I don't know if I actually wrote that in the right order. Hold on. I'm not sure if that's how it is written. I think it might be like this one. Okay. This is another way you can say or. And that is 혹. 혹은. 혹은 comes from 한자. It comes from this character, which means or. It already means or. 혹은 has the same meaning as 아니면. If it's not. You can use 혹은 instead of 아니면 in any sentence. What's the difference? As far as meaning goes, nothing. The difference is that 혹은 is more often in written formal texts. So it has more of a formal, like a fancy feeling to it. So you might see this used in essays or maybe like someone's special speech or maybe like a textbook giving an example. Just wants to sound fancy. It'll use the word 혹은 because it has that more formal, fancy feeling to it. Another word that you might see that has the same meaning as 아니면 is not from 한자. This word 또는. 또. 또는 means or. 또는 also has the same meaning as 아니면. However, 또는 doesn't have as much of a fancy feeling as 혹은. So 또는 is just more of like, it's still more formal. So I guess I can do it like this. 아니면 is normal. 또는 is a little more formal and fancy. 혹은 is extra more written sounding and fancy. Whereas 또는 could still be used commonly in speech if you kind of want to sound extra fancy. So that's kind of the level of fanciness. 아니면, 또는, and then 혹은. But you will see all three of these, so it's good to be aware of them. Okay. One more thing I want to talk about in this lesson, and then we're done. This is very important, and it has to do with 아니면. I want to see if anyone can get this. How can I make this sentence shorter? Does anyone know already? How can I make this sentence shorter? There is a way to make this sentence shorter without changing how it sounds and without making it any less natural. Oops, sorry. I should probably add all the particles in here. There's a way to make this sentence shorter that sounds natural. It doesn't change the meaning. So this sentence means, do you like mom or dad? So this might be something that the parents ask the kid for fun. 엄마가 좋아? 아니면 아빠가 좋아? Like, who do you like more, mommy or daddy? Like that. And the kid says, whoever gave him snacks most recently. 엄마가 좋아? 아니면 아빠가 좋아? So how can we shorten this sentence? You can shorten this sentence and still have it be natural. Does anyone know? 양태라고 하는데 사실 한국어에는 양태 포함된 문법적 요소 많은데 수업 현장에서 이걸 자세히 가르치기 빌리쌤, 이 어려운 걸. Thank you, Ellie's Korean language classroom. I think Ellie is another one of my Korean fans. I don't have very many Korean fans though, to be honest. Koreans already speak Korean just fine. I'm not going to tell you guys the answer. I just want to see what you guys are writing. How can I make the sentence shorter? And if so, okay, a few people said this. Leave out 아니면. Okay, it could be this. If so, why? A couple other people said remove the first 좋아. I see what you mean. 엄마 아니면 아빠가 좋아. Okay, sure. Remember, we talked about how it could be used between nouns, but I also said this. I said that doing that is less natural. So no, in this case, no. Okay, the answer is, and several people got it, remove the first 아니면. Remove this, well actually there is only one. Remove this 아니면 is the answer. But why? Get the Ryan Reynolds gif where he takes off his mask. But why? 엄마가 좋아? 아빠가 좋아? Because what does 아니면 mean? What does 아니면 literally mean? And it's not just a literal meaning. I know you guys are joking that I say literally all the time, but literally, what does this mean? It means 아니다 if it is not. So 아니면, if it is not. 아니다 means to not be. You could say 저는 한국 사람이 아니에요. I'm not a Korean. If it is not, so if not, do you like dad? So do you like mom? If that's not the right answer, do you like dad? You can actually remove 아니면 completely in every sentence that's asking or, not just this one, every sentence, and it still sounds perfectly natural. 엄마가 좋아? 아빠가 좋아? 이거 할래? 그거 할래? 오늘 할까? 내일 할까? 이거 먹을래? 그거 먹을래? Anything that you're using to ask or, you have to make it into two sentences anyway. 아니면 is actually optional because that meaning of 아니면 just adds emphasis that you're making a choice. This, if it's not that, then this. It emphasizes that there has to be a choice made when you add 아니면. But if you don't add 아니면, it doesn't suddenly remove that feeling that there's a choice. There's still a choice. Do you like mom? Do you like dad? There's still a choice there, just minus that extra emphasis that you want them to choose this or this. Do you like mom? Do you like dad? Which one? Do you like mom or dad? Do you like mom or do you like dad? Either one is fine. Both sound natural, but you'll see both. So if you see a sentence that doesn't have 아니면, but it came after a question, it could just be part of the same choice. 엄마가 좋아? 아빠가 좋아? Do you like mom or do you like dad? So that's just something to keep in mind. And this again is more for intermediates who have already learned 아니면 and just kind of want something extra. That it's actually optional. So if the meaning's already clear, like you're already giving you're giving someone a choice already. It's clear you're giving them a choice. You can remove 아니면 has the same meaning. And if you're ever curious if it sounds okay, just ask it to yourself. 엄마가 좋아? 아빠가 좋아? 이거 할까? 그거 할까? Does it sound okay? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? If that sounds okay to you, like if it still makes sense, it's a choice, yeah, feel free to remove it. I will say this though, it's not going to sound more natural to remove 아니면. It's not going to be more natural, but it's equally natural as long as it's clear. Now, if it's not clear, like if you were giving a choice where you're saying like, you have to pick this one or you have to pick this one, you really want it to be clear like this one or this, then add 아니면 just to be sure. But if it's already clear you're giving like two things and they're close together, you can easily tell these are two choices. You know, you're not like saying one choice and then talking about it and then saying this choice and talking about it. They're right next to each other. It's clear it's a choice. You can remove it if you want. Okay, that is our lesson for today. Thank you everyone for being here. And we're not done with our live stream, but that is the lesson. So now we have a little bit of extra time. I can take questions for about 10 minutes. First though, quick announcements. If you are a member, and welcome to our new members, Claire, and I think you said call you Chung? Chung? Anyway, Yuang, welcome to my new members. You can watch this abridged video tonight. It'll be uploaded on my channel after just a few hours after this finishes. You can watch it. Also, thank you super thanks to the 2 people who donated today, Carrie as well as Amanda. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that help. And other announcements, get your worksheets and outlines on Patreon. So after this live stream's finished, you can get the outline, this whole thing. Plus, I also added some extra notes. I have lots of notes. I add these after. So that'll be all up on Patreon within 30 minutes after the live stream finishes. Also, make sure to join my Discord channel, which is completely free. You can find a link right in the video description. It's always there. Other than that, thanks for coming, and feel free to ask any questions for the next 10 minutes. I believe this answers a question posed by someone about the ramen and hamburger line they heard in a drama. What about ramen and hamburger? Did someone say, like, do you want to eat ramen? Do you want to eat hamburger? Do you like ramen? Do you like hamburgers? It's really common, I think, when people are just asking this or this, and it's in the same sentence, like they're saying it back to back. It's real common not even to say 아니면 because it's really clear. But let's see. Is there, Pangolin asks, is there a way to express and or in Korean where both and or are expressed simultaneously? Yes, that is ina, as I explained, because ina expresses that there's a choice, but you don't really care. Either way. You could do both? Sure. 영화나 드라마 볼까? Do you want to watch like a movie or a drama? But the person could say, yeah, let's watch, you know, Will Smith's 2004 I, Robot. Was it 2004? I, Robot. Fun movie, by the way. And Lord of the Rings. You'd be like, cool. And watch a drama. Watch Once Upon a Time, only seasons 1 and 2. The rest of it is kind of like garbage. We could watch only that. You know, you can do both of them if you want. It's okay. It allows for that. Okay. 엄마 아니면 아빠? 난 여동생 좋은데. Mom or dad? I like my younger sister. Okay. I'm not sure what situation you could say that sentence in. Is it possible to say 아니면 to say shall we go now? If not, when? Yeah. 지금 갈까? 아니면 언제 가면 좋을까? You can also do that. 아니면, if not, because literally it just means if not. Whoa! Cameron! This is incredible. Today I only get 3 donations. If you told me I would get 3 donations when I started this stream, but that the total would be $150 in donations, I wouldn't believe you. That's incredible. Thank you so much, Cameron. Oh, dropped my pen. Cameron, however, didn't say anything about dabs. Billy is an editing machine. I do edit very quickly. I'll say that. Yeah, I can toot my own horn on just a few things. My Korean's pretty good. I can edit pretty fast. He pops these out in just a few hours. Yeah, thank you so much, Cameron. That's really nice of you. I'm going to do a long dab for that. A dab of respect. I need to have the taps. Boy Scout taps playing right now. Oh wait, that's when someone dies. Not that one. I don't know. Something to show extra respect. Thank you so much. So nice of you. Okay. How to become a member of your channel. It's right below the video. It should say join, but not all countries have it. You might be in a country that is anti-members and doesn't let you join the channel. No, YouTube doesn't have it set up with every country, but most countries it does work. Are you still teaching your brother Korean? I haven't met up in close contact with any of my family members since last February. Now I have seen them, but we haven't like sat together in the same table or anything like that, or eaten a meal together. So no, I haven't been able to film any videos. He certainly hasn't come over to my house, but I will be able to meet him again after a few more weeks, fortunately, which would be nice, as well as my mom and probably some other people in my family. I haven't seen him in a long time. Yeah, I would like to teach him more. The only issue was that we only could film like 1 video a month. And between that month of time, he would forget everything. I mean, I don't blame him. He's not using Korean regularly. So I would like to do another video where I teach him Korean, but it'll be something different. Also, those videos are extremely large. One of those episodes, I believe, was somewhere like 200-300 gigabytes of video files, because I filmed from 3 cameras simultaneously, all in 4K. So it's also a challenge to edit because of how much footage. I would do 2 hours of filming sometimes, or between an hour and 2 hours, because we'd have a break in there and including for changing batteries and everything. So to get a 20, 30, 40 minute episode out of it. And yeah, it's just a lot of work, but I would like to do it again. Alejandra asks, Billy, do you have these live classes every week? If so, what days and hours? That will always be announced in my community tab. So check out the channel for that. It's always, if I have it, it's going to be Sundays. But if I go to Korea, which I might this summer, if I go while I'm in Korea, there will not be any live streams. So I'll let you guys know if that happens though. Passive learning? I'm not sure what you're talking about. My younger brother, well, he wasn't really studying at all, except in the beginning, he did learn the alphabet on his own. Sometimes we use your videos in our Korean classes here in Sweden. Oh, that's cool. Hello to Iman Doski's Korean class. That's really cool. I have heard sometimes people that have classes where teachers tell me that they use my videos in their class. I think it's awesome. I think it's cool. I get to teach a class without having to deal with waking up early and driving to school and preparing the lessons. I get to do them online. Okay. Yeah, feel free to ask any other questions, though. I'll be here for another 5 minutes. Bora asks, can you give an example sentence with adverbs? Like, I do not care if you drive slowly or fast. That's a good one. By that, you mean... I guess if you want to say this or that, slow or fast or whatever, 빨리, 나 천천히, 상관없어. You could probably do that. Something like that. I wouldn't even do that, though, for the most natural sentence. Like, I can put together a sentence that says that with the grammar form we've learned today. There's a more natural way they'd probably say it. The thing is, just because you can make a sentence grammatically doesn't mean it's going to be the most natural way a native speaker would say that. I don't want to say Korean because there actually are a lot of people who aren't Korean but are native Korean speakers. They're not just genetically Korean or whatever. 천천히 가도 나는 상관없어. 천천히 가도 상관없어. Something like that. I don't care if you go slow. 뭐 빨리 가도 천천히 가도 상관없어. Like, I don't care even if you go fast or if you go slowly. Something like that I think would sound more natural. You could make it with this form as well. 빨리 가거나 천천히 가거나 뭐 빨리 가거나 천천히 가도 Any native Koreans in the Ellie, do you want to give me an example? I don't care if you go slowly or fast. I'm curious what would you say? What would you say for that sentence? Because we have a couple natives that do watch sometimes. Natives will always give the best, most natural sentences. Even if I might teach you guys the correct grammar or explain things to you, at the end of the day, I'm not a native speaker. Keep that in mind. I can explain grammar better than natives, but that doesn't mean I speak Korean better than natives. No, that wouldn't make any sense. So it's good to, you can get a lot of benefit from me as a teacher, but when it comes to it, when you want to get immersion material, like I want to practice listening to Korean all day, you want to get a native for that. And then when you need to get something explained to you, you might want to switch back to me because, you know, I can explain it in English, which you're familiar with, and in terms that you'll understand. But then at the end of the day, Korean is still a spoken language with way more exceptions and rules than I could possibly put into a book. Even if I teach you that this grammar form works this way, you say, well, then can I say this? And the answer might be no, because they don't actually say it. They prefer to say it like this, you know, and that's the sort of input you're going to have to get from native speakers. Let's see. Mia Norris asks, is it hard for you to read Korean in Seoye calligraphy? Depends. How crazy are you talking about? Are you talking about like art calligraphy where they're just like real, like strong calligraphy where they're just like, blah, 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 where it's like they just had a stroke while holding their brush? That kind, probably not. I think that kind might be difficult for Koreans to read, depending on how severe it is. But general calligraphy, yeah, that's not going to be a problem because the stroke order will still be the same as regular handwritten Korean. So if you can read handwritten Korean, you'll have no problem reading calligraphy. Let's see. 라면 as opposed to... Oh, I see. You're talking to someone else. Okay. Let's see. 한옥 I'm not sure why you said 한옥이 because that would be the subject marker. So that would be incorrect to say the 한옥, the Korean house, is going. Instead, you're saying going to there. So you wouldn't want to use that. Thank you to the people who joined today. Supporting Billy supports so many learners, and you're awesome for advancing your own learning and helping others advance theirs. Cameron, are you sure you're not a moderator already? Jordy Kroon, how can you say, I want this and this? Or this? You don't need to do anything special. 이거랑 이거, 아니면 이거. 뭐 이거랑 그거, 아니면 그거. Like that. You just say this and this. Or 아니면, if it's not that, then. And the reason you'd use 아니면 in that case is because you're emphasizing, if not those two things, then this. So you're making a clear choice because you're not saying this and this or this and something. You're saying this and this or if not those, then this is what you're saying in that situation. But you could change it around depending on what you wanted to say exactly. I'm not sure if our native Korean is still here or not. Is there a huge difference between 되면? So 되면 is when you're doing something, like at the time you're going to be doing something. So when it's that time to do that versus 때마다. One is that 때마다 would be a little more common. Yeah, 때마다 is every single time. Versus 되면 is just when you're doing that. So kind of, yeah, but not the same thing. Not every time. 마다 implies every. 공주처럼 예쁜. What is your name supposed to be? It's missing something. Do you have chat room? Yes, I have a Discord channel. Check out the video description here and you can find a link to it. It's completely free. Lots of people are already in there. I'm sure we had a lot of new members today as well. Okay. Let's check here. Marina says, streaming 해서 감사합니다. Okay. Gotta give you a correction for that. Anytime you want to say, thank you for doing something, what you literally say in Korean is, I feel thankful, 감사합니다, because of you doing something. So you doing something makes me feel thankful is literally what you're saying. Now, the way you do that, I just did this again. The way you do that is you take a verb, so an action verb stem, and you conjugate it like you're going to conjugate the yo form. So, you know, that'll be, 하다 will become 해, 먹다 would become 먹어, you know, anything like that. So whatever, you conjugate it as if you're conjugating the yo form. And then you attach the 주다 form. So 주다, to give. So literally you get to give the action of doing something. So if you were saying, for example, the verb teach, 가르쳐, 가르치다 becomes 가르쳐 주다. Now this, we're going to say because you taught me. So literally you teaching me, because of that, you teaching me caused me to feel 감사합니다. So I'm just going to write the 감사합니다 at the end. And of course, there are other forms. You could say 감사해요 or whatever. Now, you teaching me, we're going to do the honorific form because it's 주다. You're doing it for me. So 주시다, which gets 주셔서. So literally, you doing it caused me to feel, I feel thankful because you did something for me. So 가르쳐 주셔서 감사합니다. If you're talking to your friend, you wouldn't need to use the honorific. You would just do 주어서. And then you can say 감사해요 or 고마워, 고마워요, whatever you want to say. 고맙습니다, 고맙습니다. That's another alternate version. This is just general. So if you wanted to say your example where you have, where was that? Where was the sentence? It's already gone off the screen. Hold on, I got to find it again. Oh yeah, streaming. So if you want to say thank you for streaming, streaming 해 주셔서 감사합니다. Thank you for streaming, or more literally, I feel grateful because you did streaming for me or for us, like that. Okay. Thank you for yeah. You wanna say streaming 해 주셔서 감사합니다. If you want to be extra polite, you can say 감사드립니다, but that might be a bit too much for just saying thank you for stream. Thanks for streaming. I am eternally grateful for thou hast streamed today. It's a little bit formal, so probably just like this. streaming 해주셔서 감사합니다. Or just even better. There's an even better way to say that though, because this literally means I'm thankful that you did streaming today. I'm thankful you did streaming. Oops, I wrote this kind of weird. 수고하셨어요. 수고하다 is, you can think of it as like working hard, like doing a good job. You're working hard. 수고하셨어요. So honorific past tense. You have worked hard today. You did a good job today. That's kind of like saying thank you at the end of a work day. 수고하셨어요. So employees might say this, or I guess, yeah, say this to other people, like good job today, good job out there today, that sort of feeling. Thanks for streaming. 수고하셨어요. 오늘도 수고하셨어요. You know, good job today again. That you could say that as well. It doesn't convey quite so much like thank you so much for streaming, but it's more like, hey, thanks for streaming. Thank you. Good job. That sort of meaning. Good job. 수고하셨어요. If it's your close friend, 수고했어, or 수고했어요, whatever you want, but 수고하셨어요, it's really common. 빌리쌤 잘 가르쳐 주셔서 감사합니다. Perfect. Perfect. Let's see if I missed any other chat. Let's read up on the chat. This is the first live stream with only producers and new. Yeah, this is probably the first live stream I've ever gotten where the only donations are giant, large producer credits. If you're a producer, that means you donated more than $50 or more during a live stream. And today we have 3 producers. That's awesome. And then the other ones are new members. So first time that's ever happened during a stream, during a class. Alejandra Gonzalez says that sol form is from 그래서. No, not from 그래서. 그래서 is using the same sol form. So 그래서 comes from the same thing that the sol form, well, it comes from the sol form also. So this doesn't come from the 그래서, but 그래서 also comes from this sol form. So the other way around. Okay. Nope, I am British. Small? You're British? Okay, that's all I'm going. I'm not going any farther. Don't kill me. Technically $49.99. Yes, well, all around, you know, take a penny, leave a penny. That applies here. Korean told me that 기위에 is not commonly used. No, Ayakata, I actually gave a lesson all about that. The 기위에 form, as well as, yes, it's true. The 기위해 form is not that commonly used because it's a very literal form. It just means in order to. So you'll see it used in formal usage. You'll see it used in speeches or essays. You know, writing is pretty common. But if you're just talking regularly in conversational speech, it's not going to be that commonly used. There's a much more commonly used form. And I teach this in a live stream, so you can definitely learn it. It's this one. 우려고, intending to. And this is the one that's most often used when you want to say in order to do something. 다이어트 하려고 매일 등산 가고 있어요. I don't know. 한국어를 배우려고 열심히 공부하고 있어요. 한국어를 최대한 빨리 배우려고 매일 10시간씩 공부하고 있어요. I'm studying like 10 hours every day in order to learn Korean quickly. Something like that. These are just basic examples because I'm trying to give you like simplistic examples of these forms, but intending to is actually how they say in order to in Korean. And I have a lesson about this in my live streams. You can find them on the playlist in my channel. The full live stream is there. as well as the abridged one. I recommend, if you've never learned this form, I always recommend the full live streams just because they're slower. The abridged ones, you have to kind of pause it to take notes because they can go quite quick. But yeah, that's what they're talking about. So yes, they're correct. Not that it's not used, but in conversation, this is used 9 times out of 10. Okay. But yeah, everyone, thank you so much for coming. I'll stop the stream here. I don't want to take up any more of your time. I know you guys have lots of Korean to study, lots of things to do this Sunday. So thank you again for coming, and I will see you next Sunday. 그럼 다음에 또 봐. See you guys.